Hi everyone, and thank you so much for watching my channel, The Witty Turtle. In the last classes, we have completed illustration 1, 2 and 3, and in this class, we are going to start with illustration number 4. So the question says, 6 salesmen are to be allocated to 6 sales regions so that the cost of allocation of the job will be minimum, right? We have 6 salesmen and we have 6 regions also. And what are you supposed to do? You have to allocate these salesmen to these regions in such a way that your cost of allocation of job will be minimum. Okay. Each salesman is capable of doing the job at different cost in each region. Okay. So their cost matrix is given here. Okay. So these figures are in rupees. So salesman A can do the job in region 1 at 15 rupees. At the same time, salesman A can do the job in region 2 in 35 rupees. Okay, so this way all the information is given to you. What are you supposed to find out here? In the first point, the question has said, find the allocation to give minimum cost. What is the minimum cost? That you have to find out. Okay. Now the second point says, now suppose the above table gives earning of each salesman at each region. How can you find an allocation so that the earning will be maximum? So in the second point, you have to maximize things. Okay. You have to maximize the earning. And first point mein kya karna hai? You have to minimize the cost. Okay. And the third point we will study after solving these 2 points. Okay. So let's start with the first point. So this is the table that has been given to you, right? What is the first step? Obviously, you have to go for row operation. So row operation kaise karna hai? You have to find out the minimum number in the first row, that is 0. So जो जितना था उतना ही हो जाएगा. In the second row, the minimum number is 5. So it will be 35, 0, 40, 15, 10 and 15. Like this. Like this, you can do the row operation. Okay. Now, after row operation, what are you supposed to do? You have to make the column operation, right? So first, आप निकाल लो कि हर column में what is the minimum number. In this column, the minimum number is 0, so there won't be any change. In the second column also the minimum number is 0. In the third also it is 0. In the fourth column also it is 0. In the fifth column the minimum number is 10. And in the sixth column the minimum number is 0. Right? So what will be the matrix after doing column operation? So ये क्या हो जाएगा? 10 minus in your fifth column, you have 10 is the minimum number. So 10 minus 10 will be 0, then again 0, then what? Then it is 5, then again 5, then 35 minus 10, that will be 25, 40 minus 10, that will be 30. Okay, understood? So this is the first, this is your fifth column. Okay. Now you have to check the optimality. How to check optimality? First row में कितने zeros हैं? There are 2 zeros, so you are not going to cut anyone. In the second row also there are 2 zeros. In the third row also there are 2 zeros. But in the fourth row, there is only 1 zero, right? So you are going to cut the entire column. Now in the fifth row, there is no zero. In the sixth row, how many zeros are there? Only 1 zero. So again you have to cut the entire column, right? Now after checking it in the rows, you have to check in the columns. So the first column has already been cut. In the second column again, you have to cut the entire row. In the third column, you have 2 zeros. In the fifth column, you have only 1 zero. So likewise, you can cut this entire row. Now in the sixth column also, you have only 1 zero, right? So now you have cut this entire row, right? So here, how many zeros can you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You can see 5 zeros. So here, your order is what? Your order is 6 and you are having 5 zeros. So these are not equal. Now you do not reach optimality. Now what will be your next step? Tell me, think and tell me. Your next step will be to identify the minimum number amongst the uncut numbers. How many uncut numbers are there? यहाँ पर 6 है, यहाँ पर again 6 है, total 12. and the minimum number is 5, right? So what do you need to do? You have to deduct 5 from the uncut numbers, and you have to add 5 to those numbers where you can find one intersection, right? So यहाँ पर intersection है, so this will be 15 plus minimum number that is 5, it will be 20. Next 35 में भी intersection है, so it will be 40, then again 20, then this will be 15 only, okay? 15, 25 and 0. I hope this is clear to you. Again यहाँ पर भी कोई plus का sign नहीं बन रहा है, so this will be 35, this will be 0, here you can see a plus, so this will be 30, 0, 45. This will be also 0, then 40, then 20, and then 0, then 15. Then again 50, 0, 60, 5 and 0. And then these are the uncut numbers. What are you supposed to do here? You have to deduct the minimum number from these uncut numbers, right? So this will be what? 5. This will be 60. This will be 10. This will again be 20. This will be 30. This will be 15. 0, 0, 30. There won't be any change. And this will be 0. This will be 20, 25, 45, 40 and 0 again, right? This is the improved matrix that you have got. Now, okay, so I am assuming that you are also solving this question along with me in your copy, right? If you're not doing it, then please take out your copy and start solving it along with me, okay? Now what are you supposed to do? Again, you have to check for optimality. So first row में कितने zeros हैं? There are 2 zeros, so you can't cut any. Second row में भी वही 2 zeros हैं. And in the third row also you have 2 zeros. In the fourth row also you have 2 zeros. But in the fifth row you have only 1 zero. So yes, you can cut this entire column. Now in the sixth row also you have 2 zeros. So we have checked all the rows. Now it is the time we should check for the columns, right? First column there is only 1 0, so you can cut this entire row. Now in the second column only 1 0 is there, so you can again cut this entire row. Now in the third column you have 2 zeros, so leave it. And in the fourth column also you have 2 zeros, and in the fifth column also you have 2 zeros, right? So what will be the next step? After you have completed checking the rows and the columns once, then you have to check them again, right? So in the first row you have 2 zeros, in the second row to cut ho gaya hai. In the third row you have again 2 zeros, but in the fourth row you have another 1 0, right? Ye aur ek 0 hai. So what are you going to do? You are going to cut this entire column. Understood? Now again इस रो में कोई 0 नहीं है, so again you have to check in the columns, right? So third column में again you have 2 zeros, and ये तो दोनों कट हो गया है. Now sixth column, here also you have only 1 0, right? So ये कट हो गया. How many zeros have you got till now? 1 2 3 4 5. Now check again. अगर हम लोग फर्स्ट रो में चेक करेंगे, फर्स्ट रो में तो हमारे पास कौन सा वाला 0 आएगा यहाँ पर? We have only 1 0, right? So we can cut this entire column. Understood? Right? Now check how many zeros do you get? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Your order is 6, and you are also getting 6 zeros, right? So you have reached the point of optimality, right? So optimality reach होने के बाद आपको क्या करना है? You simply need to check and make the optimal allocation, right? So यहाँ पर जो सेल्समैन A है उसके लिए कौन सा वाला रीजन है? उसके लिए थर्ड रीजन है. जो B है, B के लिए सेकेंड रीजन है. For C it is the sixth region. For D it is fifth. For E it is fourth, and for F it is first, right? So yes, you can see this here. आंसर में ऑलरेडी दे दिया है. नाउ व्हाट आर यू सपोज टू डू? सिंपली ए का थर्ड में क्या है? ए 3 इज 0. नाउ बी फॉर सेकेंड इट इज 5. सी फॉर सिक्स्थ इट इज 10. नाउ डी फॉर फिफ्थ इट इज what? It is 25. Now E for the fourth, it is fifth, 5, right? Like this you can do, and you can find the minimum cost, that is rupees 55. Understood? Okay. Now we are going to solve the second point where it says you have to maximize the earning, right? Now suppose the above table gives earning of each salesman at each region. हमें पहले क्या दे रहा था? Previously it was showing the cost. Now it is showing the earning, the income of each salesman at each region. Wherever you get cost, you know that yes, we have to minimize the cost, and wherever you are getting the profit, what are you supposed to do? You have to maximize the profit, right? So here also you have to maximize the earning of each salesman. So how can you find an allocation so that the earning will be maximum? You have to follow the maximization method and determine the solution with optimum earning. Understood? Now let's start with the question. So as this is a problem of maximization, what is the first thing that you have to do? The first thing that you have to do is to find the maximum number, the biggest number, okay? So here, now look at all the rows and columns and tell me what is the maximum number, what is the biggest number? The biggest number is 70. Now what are you supposed to do? You have to deduct all the numbers from 70 and you have to make another matrix, right? So your another matrix will look somewhat like this. 70 minus, यहाँ पर कितना था? यहाँ पर it was 15, right? 70 minus 50. कितना हो जाएगा 70 minus 15? It will be 55, and likewise you will get another table, that is this one. Now again you have to perform the very same thing, that is your row operation, right? Row operation में क्या करना है? You have to find out the minimum number, that is 25, and you have to deduct 25 from each from the first row. Now in the second row also the minimum number is 25, so you have to deduct 25 from all the numbers. Like this, by this time I know you have become an expert in doing the row operations, right? So you can do the row operations easily. Now it's time for making the column operation. Column operation कैसे करना है? The minimum number in the first column, that is 5. So you have to deduct all the minimum numbers, all the numbers from 5, right? So after doing this, you will find another matrix, that is this matrix. Okay, this is your matrix after column operation, right? So here what you have to do, again आपको optimality check करना है. For that you have to check in the rows first. So in the first row you have only 1 0, right? So you are going to cut the entire column. Now in the second row you have 2 zeros, in the third row you have again 1 0, so again you are going to cut the entire column. Now in the fourth row you don't have any 0. In the fifth row you have only 1 0, so you're going to cut the entire column. In the sixth row you have again 1 0, so you are going to cut this entire column, right? Rows का खत्म हो गया. Now you have to check what? You have to check for the columns, right? In the first column you don't have any 0, but in the second column you have 2 zeros, right? You have 2 zeros. So what are you going to do here? So in the first column you have only 1 0, so what are you going to do? You are going to cut this entire row, right? And this way your all the zeros get cancelled out. But here your order is what? Your order is 6 and you have only 5 zeros. So your you do not reach optimality because these two do not match, right? Understood? Now again we have to repeat the same procedure. What is the same procedure? Find out the minimum number amongst the uncut numbers. What is the minimum number? It is 20. 20 is the minimum number, right? So again you have to make another matrix. So 25 minus 20 is what? 5 0. Again you have to deduct 20 from all these numbers. 15, then again you have 10, then 15, then again 15, then you have 10. Now comes this intersection part. Okay, intersection part में आपको क्या करना है? जहाँ पर दो lines intersect किए हैं, there you have to add the minimum number. So 40 plus 20 will be 60. Now again 5, 40, 0 and 25. Here also 45 minus 20, that will be 25. Then again 0, then 55 minus 20, 35. See, you have to be very careful while doing these things in such questions because this is very confusing. कहाँ पर plus करना है, कहाँ पर minus करना है, that is very confusing and you have to pay attention while doing this. 25 minus 20, that is 5, 10 and 0. Now this will be 20, 35, 0. Now this is what, here you are having one intersection, 1, 2, 3 intersections. So 25 plus 20, that will be 45, then 50, then again what, 45. Then you have 0, 40, 55, 50, 65, 10, 35, 0, 30, 20, 0 and 35. Right? Now what you have to do again, you have to check for optimality. In the first row you have only 1 0, so cut the entire column. Then in the second row you have 2 zeros. In the third row you have only 1 0, so cut this entire column. In the fourth row also there is no 0, ye 0 to cut ho chuka hai. Then in the fifth row you have only 1 0, right? So again cut this entire column. Now in the sixth row you have 2 zeros. Now we have to check column wise. In the first column you have only 1 0, so cut this entire row. Now in the third column you have only 1 0, so cut this entire column. और ऐसे ही करके आपके सारे जो zeros हैं वो यहाँ पर कट हो गए हैं, right? So again 1 2 3 4 5. So here you have order is 6 and you have 5 zeros, so you do not reach optimality. अब क्या करना है? Now you have to go for this again. Right? तो क्या करना है? जितने भी uncut numbers हैं, you have to find the minimum amongst them. Minimum is what? The minimum is 5 here. Okay? So uncut numbers को minus करना है. 5 minus 5 is 0. Then it is again 0. 15 minus 5 is 10, then 5, then 10, then 15. Now here also 10. Then यहाँ पर आपका intersection हो रहा है, so it will be 60 minus 5 is 55. Then again 5, 40, 0 and 25. Now again this is a uncut number, so you have to deduct 5 from this. It will be 20, then 0, then again 35 minus 5, that is 30. 0, 5 and 0. Again 20, then 45 है, so you have to you have to add 5. Sorry, here also you have to add 5. It will be 65 and यहाँ पर भी intersection बन रहा है, so 25 plus 5 will be 30, right? So here it will be what? 45 plus 5, it will be 50, right? 50 and then you have 0, 50, 65, then 10 plus 5, it will be 15, then you have 35, so 35 से 5 minus करना है, that is 30, right? 30, then 50, then 40 से again minus करना है आपको 5, so it will be 35, 30, 25, 0. Then again 0, here you have intersection, so 45 plus 5, that will be 50 again. Then 55, 0, 25, then 35 plus 5, that will be 40. Understood? Okay, so what is the next step? Again, you have to check for the zeros. In the first row, you have 2 zeros. In the second row, you have 2 zeros. In the third row, you have only 1 0. So you are going to cut this entire column. Now in the fourth row, you have 2 zeros. Then in the fifth row, you have only 1 0. So you are going to cut this entire column, right? Now you have now in the sixth row you have 2 zeros, so you can't cut any of these, right? Now you have to check column wise. In the first column you have 2 zeros, in the third column you have 3 zeros, in the fifth column you have only 1 0, so this will be cut like this. and in the last column again you have 2 zeros, right? So now it is the time where you do not have 1 0 in any of the row or column. ऐसा कोई भी row या column नहीं है जहाँ पर you have only 1 0, right? In every column or every row you can get more than 1 zeros. So in such a situation, what are you going to do? You are going to perform diagonal operation, right? What is diagonal operation? So, okay, so I have 2 ink pens here. So first हम लोग देखेंगे कि किस किस के लिए जॉब एलोकेट हो चुका है. C के लिए एलोकेट हो चुका है, देन E के लिए एलोकेट हो चुका है, F के लिए एलोकेट हो चुका है. सो वी हैव टू मेक द कॉम्बिनेशन फॉर A, B एंड D. सो लेट्स अज्यूम कि हम लोग यहाँ पर A का ले रहे हैं ये वाला. ओके, लेट्स अज्यूम वी आर टेकिंग दिस वन. सो अगर हम रो वाइज देखें, सो इफ यू आर टेकिंग दिस वन देन दिस एंटायर कॉलम विल बी कैंसल्ड. सो ये जीरो भी उसके साथ कैंसिल हो जाएगा. सो अलॉन्ग विद दिस वी कैन टेक दिस वन, राइट? एंड इफ वी आर टेकिंग दिस वन देन अगेन ये वाला जो कॉलम है ये भी कैंसिल हो जाएगा. सो व्हाट आर वी लेफ्ट विद? वी आर लेफ्ट विद ओनली दिस जीरो, राइट? This 0 for D. See what you have to do basically, we have 3 salesmen जिसके पास हम लोग job allocation नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, for whom we are not able to do the job allocation. So what are we supposed to do? We have to allocate at least one place, like we have to allocate one place only for each of these salesmen, right? So हमने first choice बना लिया है अपना. Now coming to the second choice. For A, how many zeros do we have? We have this 0, right? So हमारे पास ये एक 0 रहता है. So if we are taking this one, then ये पूरा जो column है ये cancel out हो जाएगा. So we can take this one along with that. And हमारे पास और कौन सा 0 बचा? We are left with this 0. So ये हैं 2 options हमारे पास. Understood? Now what are we supposed to do? Simply हमें यहाँ पर जो ऑप्टिमल एलोकेशन जो टेबल में हम लोग करते हैं, वी हैव टू मेक दैट टेबल, राइट? सो देयर यू गो विद द टेबल showing optimal allocation. So what do we have? We have salesman, then we have region, then we have earning, right? So first हम लोग का ऑप्शन क्या है जो मैंने ब्लू में टिक किया है, वो क्या है? For salesman A it is region 1. For B it is 3, C 4, D 6, E 2 and F 5. So we can get the earning from the table, right? And we can get the maximum earning. Now if we go with the second option, then second option में क्या है जो मैंने red color से टिक किया था? For A it is region 6, for B it is 1, C it is 4, for D it is 3, E it is 2 and for F it is 5. So like this we can do what? Like this we can also get our earnings. So in both the cases the earnings are the same, right? I hope this is clear to you. Now we are going to study what is the third point. Okay, third point में क्या बोला है? In the third point it is saying that there are restrictions for commercial reasons that A cannot be posted to region 5 and E cannot be posted to region 2. Write down the cost matrix suitably after imposing the restrictions. Okay, so हमें क्या बोला है? A cannot go to region 5 and E cannot go to region 2. So इसका जो है आंसर हमें बुक में दे दिया है. Whenever such restrictions are imposed, we have to consider the corresponding element of the given matrix as infinitely large, that is alpha. So जहाँ पर भी ऐसा situation आता है, what are you supposed to do? Wherever you have a restriction or prohibition, simply write alpha in the place of the cost matrix, in the place of the cost element. Okay, understood? I hope this much is clear. So this that was it for today's video. And if you find this video helpful, then please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel The Witty Turtle, and also share this video with your CMA intermediate friends or MBA or BBA friends who have this particular chapter in their syllabus. And you can also find the link of my Telegram, Instagram and Twitter handles in the description box below. Don't forget to check them out.